Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Let's get it. Hey, chat, get you a cold one. A real cold one. Get some ice in there. It's like late in the night, you know, so you got to get you a good hydration drink so that way you wake up at 3 in the morning just so you can piss. And that's when the true dream hits, you know, when you're like up pissing at 3 in the fucking morning, just cracking a cold one, you know? Fuck it. Don't get any water. Get a beer before you go back to bed. Excite your dreams. I feel like everybody's been pushed to the limit where you have to get up on time, get to work on time. You know, sometimes fuck it, bro. Have a beer before you go to bed. You know what? Fuck it. Drink the whole 12 case. Personally, I think you should drink a case of beer every day before you go to bed. Fuck your job. Nobody gives a fuck anyways. Get in the sauce. Ruin your fucking life. I want you to start gambling before you go to bed. You see those ads that come on every porn website and every YouTube video nowadays? You know, all the gambling ads. I want you to hit them and download the app. Put in $50 so you can lose 5,000 more. I genuinely feel like you should give in to your degenerate behaviors completely and just let yourself go. Fuck it. It's the end of the summer. I want you to get lost in the sauce. The sauce is the universe now. You know, you have to invest in the sauce. And the sauce is the belief that we're going to be all right. That's when you're lost in the sauce for real. Like, when you think you're going to be all right, you're getting lost in the sauce. We got to understand, unless you have $1 million cash liquid in your checkings account right now, you're going to get lost with the sauce. Like, you're not good. Unless you have $1 million liquid cash in your bank account right now, already paid taxes, no debts, nothing. Like, just liquid cash. You're not good. You're going to get lost in the sauce. We're all thinking that we're protected from the sauce, but no. We're all getting dirty in the sauce. You know, when you get like French fries from McDonald's, I just had some McDonald's, but you wanted like a little bit of barbecue sauce, but when you dip it in that barbecue sauce, it gets on the other French fries too, you know? So when you're tasting it, you know, you gotta get a palate cleanser, and that's when you gotta get a cold one. Because everybody gets lost in the sauce. Nowadays, the sauce is as simple as financial ruin. You know? You fuck up your credit history once because you had a unfortunate case of COVID. The big bovid. You know, you had the unfortunate case of getting a medical condition that happens in, you know, human lives, right? And now you're in generational debt, you know? You're in debt that you can't fucking get out of. And the sauce is also the sludge they feed you everywhere. I mentioned McDonald's. I'm not gonna lie, that fish fillet sandwich once in a while hits like a fucking truck. But I know damn well that little cube is not a fucking fish. That cube is as real as this fucking matrix we live in, you know? That fucking sugar cube, whatever it is, you know, McDonald's made with the that fish fillet sandwich, it's like something different. That cube, that cardboard cube, I don't know what it is. It tastes good as fuck. Sugar, I know it is not good for you. It's plastic. I'm eating that plastic. That's what the sauce is the sludge that fucking corporations will push down our throat and completely clog our arteries to where we do end up having a heart attack, and then it leads to medical debt. You know, that's what the American system is now. You know, you just get sick off the food they feed you, and then when you go to the hospital, now you're kind of stuck in the system, so you can't even be homeless in peace anymore. That was a generational yap. But no, in all reality, McDonald's is good as fuck. Nobody can touch the American snack system, you know? The American Snack Corporation, let's just call it that, right? The American Snack Corporation is just so powerful. And rightfully so, because, bro, the fucking sugar in these snacks. There's a Nutella ice cream I just had, bro. I just had Nutella ice cream, and I couldn't tell you if I ever tasted anything that good. You eat one of those a week, you will lose a foot by the end of the year. Like, I knew when I was eating it that it was diabetes in a can. Well, it's not even a can. It's like a small little pint-sized ice cream, bro. It was diabetes in a fucking pint. I know American Snack Corporation is the best of the best. It's undeniable. But god damn, put some warning labels on how good that shit is, bro. It's like they're packaging you crack for reality, you know? Like, it's realistically actually sugar crack, you know? Sugar in high doses is as good as crack cocaine. I personally think so. It looks the same, at least, right? But sugar in high doses, especially with how they have fucked up our food pyramid completely, absolutely, diabolically, it's upside down. Most people can't eat rice and chicken or rice and fish on the regular. But that is like, honestly, our diet for 1,000 years, right? Like our bodies were used to rice and chicken, like just simple diets. Now we are adding hamburgers every day. Like your food consumption cannot be processed by your body. And your body can definitely not comprehend the level of complexity. I can't even fucking speak properly. The level of complexity that comes with all the fucking chemicals in your fish fillet, in your Big Mac, in your absolutely best fries on the planet, McDonald's fries. That cholesterol is not even like I cannot tell you rightfully that our bodies can comprehend the level of toxic exposure to cholesterol that we've had in the last like 2-3 years. Because I mean, bro, I'm not gonna lie, before COVID, nobody really gave a fuck, you know, about the food, because at least it was digestible and it was still processable, you know. Now the food you eat is running right through you like goddamn IBS is kicking in, bro. Everybody got IBS, bro. Like that everybody farting and burping every few seconds, you know? That's the thing. I genuinely feel like a lot of people got bowel movement issues and stomach issues they would like not to admit. They're like, you know, I just got bubble guts, you know? Because the food they're eating is absolute sludge. It's the genuine sauce, you know? This is my palate cleanser. You know, that's what I like to say. Everybody needs a palate cleanser. And chat, listen, this is my palate cleanser. So I want you to get you a palate cleanser, because tonight is a night that I'm really getting down to the food pyramid. Because realistically, this has happened over hundreds of years, you know, where the rich get richer and they're squeezing out the poor. You know, the rich end up getting really into controlling the food supply, and all the corporations are there now, you know. They might not be, you know, one and only person. Like they might not be, you know, just one person. Now it's like a board of people. It's like the king and the king's guards, you know. It's history repeating itself over thousands of years, you know, where the food is attacked and your nutrition is attacked. And the reason I personally like, you know, focus on this is because, bro, I love Taco Bell. But Taco Bell had this whole bullshit with the lettuce. And bro, listen, sometimes I don't want to have diarrhea with my fucking fast food. I understand once in a blue moon it happens, but if it's like a guarantee, like, is that really fast food? Because it is running fast through you, you know? It's genuinely concerning that our food pyramid is so fucked up and has not been redone since the 1980s, right? You know, it used to be a big thing where they were like, oh, milk is so good for you. But now half the people are allergic to milk. Lactose intolerance, you know, lactose tolerant free. But nobody found out why, you know, because it wasn't 50 years ago people were this lactose intolerant, you know. It's recently, because the way we have corporatized our dairy products, and really, this is not real dairy. People that are, you know, lactose intolerant in America go overseas to Europe, they're not lactose intolerant. I mean, some might still be, they might be sensitive to the dairy, but it's more likely they're sensitive to the American dairy because the way it's processed and chemically castrated and absolutely altered to like not be even edible. I don't know, because now they got almond milk. When do almond got titties? Like, I thought milk only came from things with titties. Since when do almond got titties? Like, that's chemical warfare. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know. I don't understand how that works. But you know, it's 1 a.m. and we're vibing. You know, that's all I can say. But the way that food is being challenged as what is food? You know what? It's like it's the same thing like a couple years ago when they're like, you know, what is a woman? You know, it's the same thing. What is a food? Is it just something that you eat? Because you could eat styrofoam. You know, you could go look at how the Backrooms was, right? The movie. And how motherfuckers were eating their own styrofoam insides, right? Like, hey, spoiler. But realistically, like, is that what food is? Just styrofoam? Because, bro, if you've seen, you know, Super Size Me, this was a classic in the middle school and high school eras of when they used to roll out the TV or put that shit on the projector. Best fucking school day ever. Teacher said, fuck it, I'm not teaching. We're going straight into a movie. We're going straight into a 3-class series. That's the best week ever. 3-class series of Super Size Me, bro. Best fucking movie ever. Talking about how bad the cholesterol and all the weight gain was from fast food. And McDonald's specifically absolutely diabolically making meals as large as a fucking... I don't even know where the fuck they came up with the fact that motherfuckers need a whole tray full of food. Bro, back in the day, motherfuckers would eat food as like as small as this. You know, there'll be like a small tray. That's like their monthly meal. Sure, we have exceeded the fact of, you know, we don't have famines as much. We're not absolutely dying of starvation like hundreds of generations. But still, it's kind of gone in the opposite direction. Now you're feeding a lot of people, but a lot of those people are getting fed bad food. So they're not malnourished. They're ill-nourished because you're getting sick and you're getting diseases that are very new. Everybody got high blood pressure now, right? Everybody got high cholesterol now, right? Everybody got heart disease now, right? Like, what the fuck? Because everybody had asthma, you know? Everybody got asthma, you know? But why did that come about? We don't know. Like, it's just crazy that all these new diseases are getting, you know, dropped like Pokemon cards, right? Like Charizard just dropped. Hey, new heart disease just dropped. What? No, lung disease just dropped. Oh, like, what are we talking about, right? So, it's the fact that we're not studying that. Where is this coming from? Where is the fact of the matter? Like, is it coming from the food? Is it coming from the absolute debauchery of air pollution? Could be causing a lot of lung issues, you know? What does this come from? And instead of that, you just come up with medication that just stops your appetite so you don't eat all these poisonous foods, right? Like, you got all these Ozempic ads everywhere, right? Like, you see all this absolute just brainwashing, just absolute CIA level brainwashing of, hey, fuck, you're hungry? Fuck that. Take this GLP and you're gonna absolutely not even be hungry. You might get ripped. Like, you're getting people that are lack of patience, you know, like they don't have any patience. They're like, fuck it, fuck the hard work. We don't want to work out, not build any actual long-term benefits. Rather just go work out and just say fuck it. Like, I'm gonna be on a 6-month long journey, actually develop mentally. Fuck it, I'm just gonna take a GLP and I'm all good. I'm gonna lock in and lose weight in 50 days. It's like, you know, motherfuckers, when you find out they're on steroids, it just doesn't hit the same, you know? It's just like, damn, bro, like, I thought you was something, you know? You find out your homie's been lying to you about some bullshit. You say, yeah, I got about like 2 girlfriends, bro. And then you find out this motherfucker's dating like the school thought. You know, it's like, yeah, you got a girl, but like, it's the school thought. You wifed up the school thought. I don't truly think that's an achievement. But you do you though. You do you. You getting pussy, you know? But that's what it feels like eating the American food, you know? You fuck the school thought. Like eating American food, going through the snack aisle is like getting a train ran on you, bro. By these school thoughts. Like, sure, you're getting a threesome, but you got like 2 of the thottiest bitches in the school, you know? You getting hoes that been ran through by society, you know? That's what it feels like going through the snack aisle. You go through the ice cream aisle, that's like 6 black guys. Like like the fucking ice cream aisle. Like, it used to be 2 or 3 ice creams, right? Back in the day, you used to get like 2 or 3 ice creams, you were good. I'm still talking about the sauce, and the sauce is the sludge that we're getting fed right now. And the reason I'm talking about this is because my fat ass just went to a fucking Walgreens like yesterday and got like $40 in snacks. When did snacks get so expensive? I didn't even get that many snacks. I got a small little Fanta can, bro. I see orange can and I'm getting it. But like, you run through an ice cream aisle and you're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, every one of these motherfuckers is a toe. Like it's taking a toll away. The amount of calories, I'm not gonna lie to you, I munched that whole fucking pint in one sitting. Like, what are we talking? Are we bullshitting ourselves? It's like getting an ice cream cone. Are you gonna eat it in multiple servings? No, fuck off. I'm eating the whole box. Like, suck my dick. There's a 6 fucking piece box. I'm eating all 6. It's like getting a 12 beer case, right? Like I don't even drink beer like that. But you get one of those. Why wouldn't you drink the whole thing? Like, why do I have to have 1 beer a day? Like, why can't I just run 12 a day? Mama ain't raised no bitch. She ain't raised no quitter. Like, we running through the whole case in one sitting, and that's the same thing with ice cream. You run through the whole pound cake in one sitting. You run through that shit right away. And that's why America got diabetes. And that's the problem. They're making these serving sizes so good. Why can't they put less sugar but just make it wider? I don't know. Maybe it might not be as good, but god damn is it cracked. Like, have you had those fucking moon pies? Oh my god, bro. I'm about to bust. I'm about to bust just thinking about the sugar in there, bro. You don't even think about it. You just pop a couple. Smoke a little exotic. You about to finish the whole box. And that's a problem because it's not, you know, something that happens right away. But over a matter of time, you're gonna get a heart attack. Like, it's as simple as that. You eat 2 boxes, you're gonna get a heart attack. But they're not hard to eat because they're like a small little sugar cookie. And you just put it in your mouth. You're like, oh, fuck, that shit good as hell. And then you do that enough times, you will potentially get a heart attack. And that's with every American snack. And I think that's the problem. These snacks are so fucking good. So good to the point that damn, you can't avoid them. It's like touching crack. It's like touching heroin. Basically feels like touching heroin. You genuinely do not want to get to that level. Food addiction is worse than alcoholism now, right? Like alcoholism, it's legal, it's easier to get, so it's like pretty bad, right? That's why sometimes they say some of those addictions are a little bit worse than, you know, the crack addiction or opioid addiction, because it's hard to get opioids sometimes. Obviously, if you have a plug and you're a crackhead for real, you might be able to find it. But if you have a plug, like if you remove yourself from that environment, right? Imagine you had a crack addiction in Colorado. If you move to Florida, you might still have a crack addiction. But if you move to the suburbs of Texas, you might get shot and never have a crack addiction, you know? So you sometimes have to remove yourself from that environment. But if in America, you go anywhere, alcohol is available, right? So alcoholism is a bit difficult to avoid, but food is even more difficult to avoid, right? Because it's everywhere. You need it to survive, but nowadays the thing you need to survive is the same thing attacking you, right? It's why they have the GLP-1, so you don't even need the thing that needs to make you, you know, healthy. It's weird. You see all these actresses that are looking like fucking finger drawings, right? Like they're like stick figures, you know, they're looking like something out of a cartoon, where they're on GLP-1s, they're trying all these new things that are absolutely just against the human way, right? Like it's kind of crazy that you need food to survive, but you take this medicine, it's gonna make you not need that food. Like it's a little anti-human, don't you think? It originally started for diabetes, right? Like diabetes, absolutely terrible disease, you know, can fuck people up, right? But now people are doing it so they don't eat it all. Like it's a little weird the fact that our food pyramid is so fucked up. It's so hard to get fucking good food, right? You don't have profitable fast food, safe foods, right? Like you have McDonald's, absolutely plastic, but absolutely profitable. Taco Bell, I love it, but absolutely not good for your body. Except that chicken. The chicken quesadilla is solid. Like the simpler you keep your food, just understand it's probably healthier, right? Like the simpler your food is, if you're putting all these dyes and all these sauces, like it comes back down to the sauce, right? Everybody gets a hamburger, right? Like a hamburger is simple. Get a bun and a fucking piece of meat, put that in between, and you're good. Maybe a cheese or some onions, pickle or two, you're good. But when you start adding barbecue sauce, mustard, mayonnaise, fucking hell, honey mustard, all of the shits that you need, that it makes it better. Don't get me wrong, but god damn, is it carbonated shit and cholesterol packed bullshit. Just a super soaker of disease. I don't know. I feel like it's getting crazy. Same thing with a cranberry, right? Yeah, you can drink a shot or two of vodka, right? Like you're good. You're good. Obviously, you might be a little too lit, but as soon as you start adding the sugar of cranberry juice, get 3 or 4 of those, you're gonna have a hangover tomorrow, right? If you just drank 4 or 5 straight vodka shots, you might be lit, but you won't have a bad hangover, right? Unless you go like 10 deep. If you're a bottle deep of vodka, you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna wake up fucked up. You're gonna lose a chromosome or two that night. You're gonna hit your head. But if you drink 2, 3, 4 cranberry vodkas, like the juice and the sugar content in that juice is what's gonna fuck you up truly tomorrow. That's why sometimes tequila is better, because it doesn't wake you up with like a fucking hangover. Whiskey, you drink one, you put some fucking hair on your nuts and you're good. But realistically, when you start adding Coke, when you start adding Sprite, you forget you're spiking your cortisol by putting all that sugar in your body. You know? You're fucking elevating your stress level because your body's like, let's get it. And it's fucking midnight and you're trying to get it at midnight. I'm saying, I'm like 1:30 in the morning right now, and I'm drinking. So I get it. I get it. Rules for thee, none for me, right? Like I'm just trying to put the knowledge out there, chat. Listen. Just listen. Don't yap. Just listen. Leave the yapping to me. Cause like in all reality, like it is kind of insane how much fast fast food has gotten promoted, right? Like there's ads everywhere. Like there's a new fast food chain opening up every fucking corner. Oh, chicken spot, Bojangles, bo di cha 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 cha. Like it's like all these fucking ads, like Bell Taco, Del Taco, Taco Bell, El Biblioteca Taco. I don't know how many taco fucking spots there are since Taco Bell exceeded their dream. McDonald's, Wendy's nuts hit your face. Like how many fucking fast food chains are there gonna be? I love it, don't get me wrong, but like, can one of them open up that has like real chicken? Like, hey, we're not 75% beef, we're 100% beef. Like we squabble at the earliest sign of disrespect, you know? It's like, why can no spot guarantee their beef is 100%? Oh, well, because of transport, it needs to be like 90% beef and the other 10% is pesticides. I don't know. Because I don't know what the fuck this bullshit is. It just got invented like 10, 15 years ago, right? Like, if you truly think about it, 20 years ago, even in the 90s, like, food was still not scarce, not in America at least, but over the fucking course of the world, because America is like 300 million, like 250 million. The world is 8 billion people now. Back in the day, it was probably like 200 million Americans, and then probably 6 billion, 5 billion people. So it's still a large population of the world is still living under a food scarcity. Africa, one of the biggest continents, still lives under scarcity. Europe might have been fucking civilized in the fucking 17th century, but they were still living in fucking slums, shitting out on their yard until like the 17th, 18th century, right? So they motherfuckers did not even know plumbing till like 18th century. So food was still an issue up until like the 1950s. Like famine is still in some parts of the world still an issue, but by majority aspects, by majority consensus, it has been resolved. Don't get me wrong. McDonald's is better than no food. I understand that. But if we're fucking in America, if we're fucking living in a continent, in a part of the world that is supposed to be the fucking first world, can we not get absolute sludge for food? Can we not get cubes of sugar and cubes of deliciousness that is not real fish? Because I know fucking real fish doesn't taste like McDonald's fish fillet, but I don't know if it would be as great. You could have two options, right? You could have the real fish fillet, the OG plastic fish fillet, but it tells you it's plastic. Or like actual fish. I don't know. Like I feel like, chat, we just need to like be realistic with the food aspect of things, right? That might solve a lot of issues. Genuinely. Because after COVID, a lot of people like realizing, bro, like with the dollar just doesn't stretch as much, right? Like, and that's me talking as a privileged man. Like, there's a lot of people that are in worse situations, and they are truly feeling it too, and they don't know what to do. And now there's a whole new fucking selection of things you could do with extending your credit, getting a new debit card, get a new credit card, $200 sign up bonus. Oh my God, you need a loan? Oh, fairway loan, this, that. Like everybody is doing different things and getting fucking lunches on loans. And that's like a terrible sign of the economy. So, should we start getting ready for absolute crisis in the economic center? Because every fucking restaurant, every fucking big grocery chain, like for example, I'm not saying Amazon might go under, right? But they have the whole thing like pay like $20 now and then the rest on credit card for the next like year, right? At what point does reality kick in and you realize there's not enough liquid in the system? There's not enough fucking sauce. Back to the sauce. Because we got sauce in the wrong system, okay? We don't have enough sauce in the economic system, but we have a lot of sauce in the food system, right? Economic system, there is not enough liquidity for people to cash out their savings. Like, let me put it this way. If everybody went to the bank tomorrow and decided, hey, I don't want to pay any more taxes, I don't want to pay any more fucking bullshit on opening a checkings account where you hold my money, you rent it out to other people, but I don't get a piece of it. But instead, I have to pay you to hold my money. What? I thought this was not what? Why am I getting taxed on everything, right? When people realize, like, okay, that's a fucked up system, let's just all pull out the cash that we have in our system just to make sure the absolute $100 I have in my account is mine. You go pull it out. Oh shit, the bank is like, due to withdrawal status of our bank, we cannot loan out all this cash. We can't send it out. Oh shit, back in 1930 it happened, right? 1920 it happened, where the whole fucking system collapsed because people realized the cash in their bank account isn't the cash that their bank holds. Because their bank is making money on them. And they're the ones getting charged $12, $10 a month to have an account open when they can't afford it. And that's the craziest part, because some people can afford it, don't get me wrong, and they don't have to worry about it because they're the voter. They're the real voter status, right? Like the people that have enough money to have a voter ID, enough money to keep on going on. They're not struggling to worry about checking account balances and like I mean they are, but they're not like pinching pennies. Let's put it that way. You know, there's some people that $10 balance that's about to hit their that's about to hit their account because of overdraft fees. Because look, imagine you can't afford that $10 balance and you only have $11, and then you go buy like a fucking soda or a water, and now you're fucking negative because you thought you had $11, but then they took $10 out, and then you just bought a fucking $2 drink. Now you're a negative $1. Now overdraft fee hits, that's another $20, and then now you're fucking under, and now you don't know what to do. And that's a lot of the fucking American society, if not the society overseas. I can't speak on Europe. I can't speak on the third world because I'm not over there. I really cannot speak on that. But as far as what you see in America, it's like, bro, motherfuckers are struggling at the littlest fact of our banks are fucking us. Our food system is fucking us. And most importantly, our government is not helping, but rather lubing us up for the fucking. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a democratic system of penetration. That's what it is. Because this weekend was tax-free weekend, right? The one weekend is tax-free. Whatever you get, tax-free. I still don't understand it though. Because what do you mean it's not taxed? Because everything in America is taxed. You breathing, you're getting taxed. No matter what you do in America, you're getting taxed in some way, shape, or form. So it might not be tax-free or it might be tax-free weekend this weekend. What about next weekend? It's like, you know how they say Black Lives Matter only, whenever it's Juneteenth, right? Or whatever month they give, Black Lives. Like, how about they matter all year round? Right? Like, why do we have to limit that to 1 month? It's just you've been whipped into submission to where it's like, hey, at least it's 1 weekend I don't get taxed. It's at least 1 weekend I don't get a lashing. What? This whole system was built on the fact that, hey, the fucking British were taxing us with no representation. Now California is what, 60% tax on your income? What? Oh, but they're getting quality of life and a lot of goods and perks of living there. Okay. Do they own the land or the people own the land? Like what are we talking about? Our federal government getting more power and more, what do you call it? Undemocratic? Might be. Because it's seeming like the people that are making the rules are making rules for those who don't need to follow the rules in the first place. You know, the politicians, the rich folks, the absolute pinnacle of society, the motherfuckers that got money and don't need to worry. The whole thing about having a system was to protect the fucking poor, protect the people that cannot do the protecting for themselves, right? That's what the unions were for, right? But it seems like the unions have turned around and whipped those workers in check. Like, at least you have a job. Yeah, at least you got a job. Wow. What a privilege to be able to provide for myself in the economy that you created and the rules that you govern by. What a privilege to live. Because now it's become to the point where it's a privilege to be alive. You're 1 in a billion. The sperm would have never survived. It's a privilege to breathe. Thank you very much. I'm very happy. What is the alternative? Fucking lashings and absolute poor treatment? Because now, if you don't have 2 or 3 jobs, you're getting lost in the sauce. Best believe it. You're getting absolutely dollar menu treatment. And that's what it's feeling like. Everybody's getting the sludge, the absolute bottom of the barrel sludge treatment. The treatment of, you're not good enough. Get to the back of the line. It's not good. Because just because they can do it to them doesn't mean they can't do it to you. A wise man once said, right? What they can do to you, they can do to anybody else. And what they can do to anybody else, they can do to you. You would want a fair shake with your enemies as well. You know, that's what a sign of maturity truly feels like, right? Like, if you want to do foul play, if you want to do any kind of cheating and foul play behavior, just believe that your enemy will do the same. But if you play fair, if you play honest, if you play by the rules, you can sit back and take a breath and be like, hey, I did the best I could. Even though some may look at it and say, you didn't do the best you could. You could have fucking blown up that motherfucker's house, you know? If somebody scratched your car and you couldn't get any money out of them because they didn't have insurance, somebody be like, hey, bro, I'd have just gone and robbed their house. Like, what? Hold on. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I get it. You got your money by robbing their house, but, like, you're going to jail. Like, that's the thing. There's a limit to things, right? Sometimes you have to draw the line. And where do you draw the line? I don't know. I personally draw the line at food that is garbage, that is plastic, that is not real food. Don't get me wrong. I love McDonald's, but it is something that I don't want to have every day. How can you blame people for having an obesity epidemic when they're getting fed fucking garbage because that's all they can afford? No matter where they go, they cannot afford a McDonald's salad that's $15 where a Big Mac is $5, right? Are we being realistic? This is when a democratic process gets, implemented. A government steps in, a local environment set for their people to succeed, because we are the people. We, the people, need to be fed food. Like, is that such a fucking hard thing to ask for? Genuinely? Like, am I tweaking, chat? Like, I feel like when you start asking for basic rights, people start getting abrasive. then you start realizing, oh shit, are we getting fucking lied to? Are we in a false reality? Are we in a falsehood that we did not fucking comprehend before because people were so sedated? And then you realize the sedated system only comes from the economic system, right? When you've been fucking shafted so much where you're going at job after job after job, you're working 3 jobs, and you're like, look, the average voter is somebody that has enough money to be able to vote, to be able to have a say. Because the poor person, you know, the person that gave the fuck up and actually struggling in real life, homeless people, right? They don't have voter IDs. They don't have IDs to be able to identify themselves. I mean, I truly believe in the voter ID system because of the fact that, look, if you think there's no voter fraud, you're a very smart person. Like, you genuinely might be very smart, because I've never personally ran across a system that is infallible other than God himself. Like, I've not run into an infallible system, because every system with technology and Wi-Fi, it can be corrupted easily and most definitely. It's not a if, it's a when. Simple as that. And that's what the problem is people are looking at this political system and this, in my opinion, this is GTA, get your HDMI cable. In my opinion, you're looking at this like system as untouched, pristine to the bean system that can never be corrupted, that can never be coerced by people in positions of power. Like, they've never been corrupted. Wow. What can we do about this? All you can personally do is get your money up, get your money up, not your funny up. And that's why I've been kind of cutting back on the comedy, right? I've been cutting back on the stand-up, because get your money up, not your funny up. Get your bag designer. Like, at the end of the day, if you got a designer bag, you're going to be able to get into more places, more fucking absolute beautiful, luxurious places than these fucking fobs that just got off the boat. Because I realized the prejudices. I realized that no matter how much you want to resolve racism, no matter how much you want to fucking, I don't see color. Motherfucker, Becky from up the block does. And all she wants is BBC. Like, I'm telling you, people see color. The fact that people pretend that we don't is the true tragedy. Because now you're denying reality. Like, now you're living in absolute diabolical delusion where you might be in psychosis. And that's what we're seeing is mass psychosis. Since COVID happened, we've seen a historical level of psychosis because everybody thinks they're him. You know, everybody's the main character now because everybody got a camera, everybody got an iPhone, and we genuinely all think we're main characters. And I'm doing the same. I'm over here talking like I fucking got a thing or two to say, right? Crazy. Crazy what we live in. But look, I'm just a comedian. I'm just trying to figure out like, what if the Civil War in America started tomorrow?
America is on the brink of a second civil war. The government versus the people, the military versus civilians, neighbors versus neighbors. 47% of Americans believe that they'll see another civil war in their lifetime, and that fear...
Hey, get the glizzy. Get the glizzy. We got a fucking rocket launcher. Let's go. We in Texas, bro. Get the Glock. We ready to pop.
It's only growing. How would this war start? What would happen to people like you and me? And instead of Republicans and Democrats, could a new party emerge from the ashes? Today on What If Tomorrow, we explore what would happen if the U.S. were plunged into a second civil war. Two Americans watched the exact same 30 seconds of video and somehow see two completely different events. Self-defense or cold-blooded murder. Two different reactions based in two different realities. Sound familiar? Welcome to the divided states of America. A nation that can't agree on what just happened in front of its own eyes is closer to the edge than it likes to think. So picture that edge, the next video, like so many we've already seen, but somehow different, bigger, worse. A line of soldiers, backs to a wall, a crowd pressing in and throwing whatever's in reach, and then the part no one will ever agree on. One shot, one person down, and then mayhem. What really happened? All in the eye of the beholder. What makes the dam burst isn't the death. Sadly, we're used to that. It's the aftermath, the time when no one stands down and no one holds back. This is what they are, and we are not them, from both sides. This isn't a prediction. Well, not just that. Take the phones and social media away, and you're not looking at tomorrow. You're looking at the 5th of March, 1770, King Street, Boston. A customs house, fresh snow on the ground, and 5 dead on the stones. America didn't begin with a fancy declaration. It began with a street fight that no one could agree on. Colonists called it the Boston Massacre, the fuse that ignited a revolution. One small thing becomes a very big one. It happened before, and almost half of America believes it could happen again, and soon. What would it look like and feel like? Where would the front lines be, and will it find you where you live? What does history tell us about houses divided against themselves? And what did the smartest AI models on Earth predict when you ask them the thing nobody wants to say out loud? What if another American Civil War started tomorrow? And even worse, what if no one wants to admit it already has? It starts with a raid gone wrong, a city that has sworn it will never back down. Federal officers moving in, local police siding with the community and standing their ground. Two lines facing off, the same flag on their uniforms, but pledging allegiance to two very different ideals. Shots are fired. By morning, dozens are dead. The governor calls it an invasion and refuses to send Washington another $1.
Hey, don't this sound like Minnesota though? Don't this sound like Minnesota though? Or Minneapolis, whichever. One of the M's. One of the M's, motherfuckers that throwing up M's over there. I don't know. One of those fucking states that have fucking absolute chaos during COVID, during Black Lives Matter protests. Now they got fucking robot dog. Hey, I think it's already started. Minneapolis or Minnesota. I think that's where the ICE agents are, right? Like they got flock cameras all over Minnesota or Minneapolis. I don't know, man. Mini something. It's mini Minnesota. I think ICE. Let's look that up. Wherever George Floyd died, I think it was. Those states are absolutely under fucking duress. And we're, as Americans, just watching it happen, right? The fucking ICE agents are killing American fucking citizens.
States
and we're like, hey, fuck it. It is what it is.
That's how a riot becomes a war. Not the first shot, but the first state that decides that it's no longer obliged to obey. Now picture that day. You're nowhere near these events, and yet they surround and inform everything moving forward. Think of an 18-year-old in a small Midwestern town. Every war in her lifetime happened somewhere else. A place on the news, a flag on a forwarded video, something that happened to other people. This is the first one with no somewhere else, no over there. It finds her on her own street. And it finds you, wherever you are. It started as a clean argument between governments, states against the federal. A fight you could draw on a map, but it doesn't stay on the map. It can't. That's the part that the clean breakup fantasy, red gets the middle, blue gets the coasts, always leaves out. The red state, blue state mentality has always been misleading. There are 50 different shades of purple, shifting not by state boundaries, but by city versus country. College campuses versus farmland, uptown versus downtown. When the lines in the sand are drawn, millions of people wake up on the wrong side of one because the other opponent isn't a foreign army, it's your brother-in-law, the woman who does your taxes, half of your group chat. Imagine a quote-unquote enemy that has a spare key to your house. You can flee from a city under siege, but there's no dodging this. Day one feels almost normal. Shelves still stocked, lights still on. No one knows what it is yet, just that something's changed. You size up strangers in ways you never used to, and vice versa. The flag on that truck, the sticker on that guy's laptop, proud veteran on your corner. With you or against you? In a foreign war, you know the enemy by its uniform, but in this one, everyone's a potential double agent. And then it stops being
Bro,
a
it sounds like, hey, yo, it sounds like the MAGA shit going on right now after January 6th. Hey, yo, it sounds like we might be there, boys. We might be there, boys and girls. Listen. This is all GTA, right? Let's not get too scared. Let's get our Glocks ready, though.
This kind of video, you've scrolled past other countries' wars for years. Smoke, shaky frames, someone screaming off camera. Except now, that's the overpass you take to work, or the strip mall parking lot where you bought your phone. A cheap drone, the kind that should be used to film a wedding, drops a grenade on a guard position outside your town that you've been to. A power substation goes dark in a crackle of gunfire and takes out half the county with it. A convoy burns on the interstate. None of this looks like the history books. No front lines, no grand battles, just your own streets on fire in a vertical video. A name you know turns up in the group chat, past tense. That's when it truly gets real. Not when it started, but when it takes someone you know. By the end of the first week, some people are already gone, loading the car, leaving a house they'll never sell in a neighborhood that stopped being theirs. Refugees in their own country, sorting themselves by red and blue and toward whichever side they think they'll be safer on. America has sorted itself like this before. We just told ourselves we'd never do it again. Freedom of speech now feels like it could maybe cost you something. You think twice before you post. Peel that sticker off your car. At a checkpoint, and yeah, there are checkpoints now, you learn to read which answer the kid with the rifle is hoping for and give them that one. Better safe than sorry. Us and them continue rubbing shoulders uncomfortably. The marriage where two partners once laughed about canceling each other's vote out. Your kid's friend who can't come over to play anymore because his parents picked the other side. Shared custody across checkpoints. Thanksgiving now a demilitarized zone. And the ones who stay? Well, they adapt faster than you'd believe. Sarajevo was a modern European city that had hosted the Olympics, but within weeks after the shooting started, the people learned which side of each street the snipers could see, how to heat a room by burning furniture, what a gold watch was worth in eggs. That's the part nobody pictures from the comfort of their scroll. You don't spend a war slinging hashtags at each other. You just try and survive the horror. Before we ask the machines how big this conflict gets and how it ends, a question. Regardless of your politics, could you actually do it? Not just argue with these people, but fight them. Take up arms against them. Now, hold that in the back of your mind. We're gonna circle back to it at the end. For most of our lives, people have only talked about a second civil war in conspiracy theory chat rooms, but now it's something that the pollsters actually measure. So let's start with when and why this question stopped sounding crazy. In one recent survey, around 43% of Americans say they think a civil war is at least somewhat likely. In another, 47% say they expect to see one in their lifetime. Now, the share of Americans who say a civil war is not only inevitable, but necessary, is much smaller, only a few percent. But still, in a country this size, that's millions of people actively rooting to see it happen. And this time, we can't just hang it on crazy Americans.
Bro, I think it's
We're
a lot of
focusing
people
on
are
America
bored. They're
because-
like, bro, we're fucking getting nowhere. We've given up on our jobs. We can't really do much with fucking all this basic need shit. Like, you know, people can't afford basic groceries. They say, fuck it, let's get the Glock up. Let's make somebody pay for it. Right now, Americans are so used to seeing all this bullshit happen to brown folks overseas. They're like, bro, fuck it. Even though I'm not trying to make this a brown or white folk kind of thing, but it's just like, they're so used to dropping bombs on motherfuckers with beards, they forgot they got caves in America too. And motherfuckers over there got beards too. So the Civil War shit, hey, let's not push any buttons. This is all GTA, of course.
America has the guns, the bomb, and the world's reserve currency. But if you think this is a uniquely American illness, look out almost any window on Earth. Across the democratic world, the same fever is spiking. Crowds in European capitals, figures who once lived on the fringes are now filling stadiums. Different languages, but eerily similar words. Invasion, traitor, us, them. What changed? Well, the short answer, trust collapsed. Trust in the government, the courts, the press, even the guy across the table at Thanksgiving. Trust in truth itself. When a country loses the ability to simply agree on the ground rules and which videos are real, it loses the one thing that's been holding it together the whole time. And it cuts both ways, left or right. The trust is gone in both directions. Once people start trusting the courts, the press, each other, every disagreement starts to feel like a threat. And that's how distrust becomes escalation. There's a darker tell, too. Gaming out Civil War 2.0, even for fun, used to be taboo. Now people have gotten much cozier with the idea. Witness the memes about which side has more guns, smug little maps predicting who would win with thousands of laughing comments like we're debating a ball game, not a bloody armed conflict in our own backyard. Very often, it's only clear in hindsight how close the tipping point is. A congressman once nearly beat a senator to death with a cane on the Senate floor, and still, the country didn't realize it was on a slippery...
Bro, once the Luigi Mangione shit happened, y'all saw how people were excited he killed a fucking rich guy? Bro, we knew shit was about to pop off.
slope until there was no turning back. And that fear that we opened on, well, it's not paranoia. It's basically already reality. Political violence doesn't make us flinch like it used to, like it should. Federal agents using force against a local governor's will. State houses openly daring Washington to make them comply. None of it is a war, but all of it is
a little
kindling.
scary.
Sparks fly day and night from the left and the right. So what if one of them lights a fire that no one can or truly cares to put out? We asked each of the biggest, most advanced AIs what the future likely holds. All four predicted the same loser, and it's probably not the one you'd guess. But first, what lessons can we learn from the past?
Just don't
History
use a
already
nuke.
has receipts, and it tells several recent and surprisingly similar stories about modern, comfortable, seemingly stable countries that were suddenly and savagely torn in half. Take Northern Ireland, a wealthy, cultured, English-speaking corner of a Western democracy. For 30 years, it simmered in a low-grade civil war. Checkpoints on the way to school, bombs in the shopping district. A whole generation grew up thinking soldiers on the corner were a normal part of the scenery. Walls were built down the middle of cities to keep neighbors from hurting neighbors. Walls that are still standing there today. Reminders of 3 decades they politely call the Troubles. Well, then there's Yugoslavia, a modern and diverse European country. Serbs, Croats, Slovenians, and others sharing towns and starting families together. Bonds that felt permanent and then came apart in about 1 year. One-time neighbors became each other's executioners, not over rival gods or ancient hatreds, but because leaders found it useful to convince them that their neighbor was the enemy. Likewise, Lebanon, the capital, Beirut, was once the Paris of the Middle East. And then 15 years of civil war, militia against militia, split the city neatly in half. In the end, nobody had
you've
won.
been at war long enough, you just want to
gave
chill.
up and made the line permanent. 3 things those places have in common: none were failed states, none were age-old feuds, they were normal, functioning societies until the spark, and not one ended with a winner. They ended with exhaustion, a line on the map, and a peace that was just really a pause. Not a solution, but a stalemate. That pattern may be very meaningful because when we put a bunch of questions about a possible second US Civil War to 4 of the most capable AI systems on Earth, Claude, ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini, each painted a strikingly similar picture. We already showed you how it might begin. A raid, a shot that no one will own, a state that decides to no longer kiss the ring. The models barely argued about that part. Their sparks were all versions of the same thing: a contested death, disputed election, a guard unit ordered to move and refusing. So the real question was never how it starts, it was what happens next. How does one city's gunfight become a war that swallows a country of 340 million? Well, it doesn't spread like an invasion, a front line creeping across a map. It spreads like a rolling blackout, hopscotching from one location to the next. A second city refuses federal orders, and then a whole state. Guard units pick sides, roadblocks go up on the interstates. And the fighting, when it comes, looks like what you already saw. Not armies on a field, but ambushes, drones buzzing overhead, and neighborhoods changing hands block by block. Gemini compared a likely map to a leopard skin. Loyal cities stranded in hostile country. Hostile counties wrapped around friendly ones. The worst fighting wherever the spots touch. What's surprising? Well, 3 of the 4 AIs also agreed on what comes next. What turns some dicey but isolated brush fires into an inferno. As the old saying goes, follow the money. The sudden death of investor confidence, a run on the banks, markets seizing within hours.
Hey, I told you, a run on the banks is
somewhere safe and finding nowhere to hide. The lights stay on, but what goes dark is the belief that the status quo we've all quietly counted on will still be here tomorrow. Grok suggested a different system-wide failure. Our sources of information, the internet, drowning in rumors and outage, deepfakes, dueling footage.
Yeah, nowadays, bro, with the AI shit, there's slop everywhere, bro. There's no way of fixing the slop.
Just stops having any ability to tell you what's real. Meanwhile, as neighborhoods organize themselves into red or blue, delivery trucks stop crossing the fault lines. It turns out that the replacement stock in the back of the grocery store lasts days, not weeks. And this is the point where AI predictions begin to splinter. None of them buys a clean 2-side, 2-army picture. Instead, they see 3 or 4 sides. Federal government in Washington, the breakaway bloc, the huge anxious middle trying to stay out, maybe even scattered wildcards that nobody controls, armed local groups loyal to no governor at all. There's no opposition president waiting in the wings.
What is this, fucking
any
Far Cry?
realistic mechanism to elect one. More likely, a big state governor becomes a commander in all but name. The real fight, on every base and in every state house all at once, who do we answer to? The matchup that you're picturing, guns and land on one side, population and money on the other, matters less than you would think. The single biggest question in a modern civil war? Will trained soldiers fire on people they were raised to view as fellow citizens, under any circumstances? ChatGPT was the optimist. The institution of the US military is built for this. The oath is to the Constitution, not a region. Others viewed that as wishful thinking, and when pushed, even Chad admitted that it was banking on a discipline the real world has never tested. All 4 agreed that a civil war would never go nuclear. The good news, no one gets nuked. The bad news? A war that drags on endlessly as everyone pulls their most lethal punches. How long? Well, here the machines and the history books align. Years, maybe decades. Belfast and Beirut writ large. A war neither fully cold nor fully hot, quiet most days and lethal on others. The likeliest ending, neither victory or surrender, just a partition that no one argues
Or
over,
then China
only
takes
to
over
make
and
it
now
all stop.
everybody's...
So, back to that loser that all four agreed on. You know, the one that you wouldn't guess? It's not red, it's not blue, it's the country itself. Again, the AIs saw eye to eye. America can lose this war without ever losing a battle to any other country. Gemini said it bluntly, a superpower dies not by gunshot, but from a stroke. The dollar is the world's currency. The day the world stops trusting it, the economy detonates. To dethrone America, you don't have to capture DC. All it takes is for the United States to stop functioning as United States. And then whoever's left standing, red or blue, inherits the ashes. But when asked to identify their own blind spots, the AIs admitted that they can't help but think of people as rational actors. Yet, war defies all reason. In 1914, Europe's economies were too tangled for war.
Bro, they're gonna base everything off of like a judgment. You can't depend on AI, bro. They're not there yet. They're not there yet.
Ever be possible. Rwanda's genocide was economic suicide, and legitimacy can vanish overnight. The Soviet Union was eternal in 1988, and by 1991, gone. Claude painted a slightly different, if equally dismal, endgame.
Oh, don't compare America to this off-brand ass African fucking nation. America is one of one.
Not a modern superpower exploding into a supernova, but quietly imploding on itself. The infrastructure stumbles along, more or less, but power slips to whoever...
I will say America is losing itself to bureaucracy. I will say bureaucracy in America, absolute terrible.
...can deliver grain and keep the lights on. The country can be breaking at the top, while on your street, the most notable change is a neighbor planting...
But I think a lot of fucking regular people, like they're invested in the neighborhood. They're like, bro, I just spent like $500,000. I just spent my whole net worth on this house. I'm gonna make sure this house lives on.
Potatoes where the lawn used to be. Scholars who study how civil wars start, like Barbara Walter, who literally wrote the book on the subject, say a replay of 1861 is unlikely. There'll be no rival army on the march. There'll be no Fort Sumter. Instinctively, we all know this, but it's that comfort that makes us all complacent. All it takes is the spark, and the spark is all too possible. Meanwhile, America not only continues playing with fire in its words and in its actions, at the same time, the kindling keeps stacking too. Now, we've shown you all the ways the nation could be torn apart, and now a few reasons why it will probably never happen. Ryan Griffiths, a scholar who studies secession for a living, argues that dividing a country is way harder than everyone assumes. We're wired together. The red county grows the food that the blue city eats, and the blue city runs the banks and the power that the red county needs. America may be joined at the hip, like it or not. Civil breakdown guarantees mutually assured destruction, even if a single missile is never fired. Pull the plug on the other side and your own lights go out a week later. Even when there is the will, there may be no feasible way. If a second civil war does somehow start, a messy reunion may ultimately be inevitable. A fiery breakup begetting a begrudging and belated makeup. In 1861, the South could plausibly manage alone, something no region of the contemporary US can even dream of. The tough guy divorce fantasy dies the first time someone stops to figure out where their insulin comes from. The two more reasons, or rather two numbers.
The world depends on itself too much. Like, we depend on each other way too much. If you cut one half off, you're fucking cutting off circulations to the other. If you cut off one arm, your other arm is going to struggle. Like, as simple as that.
Remember the roughly 4 in 10 who told pollsters a civil conflict is at least somewhat imaginable? Now consider the other 60%, the silent, exhausted majority stuck in the middle who just want their grocery stores full and their kids to be safe and for the whole thing to stop. The passionate few are loud, but they are not the country, and talk is cheap. What about when the question isn't, will America...
But see, that's the thing. The average American is so dependent on the system itself. Like he said, 60% is so dependent on the system. Those people just collapse and die right away. Unfortunately, those people die first. The other 40% will fight it out.
America have a civil war, or should America have a civil war, but would you actually pick up a weapon and fight? The percentage of people who still said yes? Less than 4. A civil war needs millions of true believers willing to put on a uniform and shoot their former neighbor. But ask who...
People truly don't give enough fucks. I'll just say that. Nobody gives enough fucks.
Is willing to do more than just make angry comments on social media, and suddenly almost everyone remembers, oh, I got laundry to do, Which brings us back to the question I asked earlier. Could you raise a weapon against a neighbor, a cousin, or the guy who coached your son's basketball team? It won't be a president or a general who decides if this becomes a reality. It'll be ordinary people, people who look a lot like you. Could you do it? Well, luckily for the vast majority of us, the answer remains a resounding no. But what do you think might happen? Do you think America's on the verge of a civil war? Or do you think it might just be blown a little bit out of proportion?
Hey, listen, to me personally, I feel like most people will get absolutely locked in with their community and fight with their community. Like, genuinely, I feel like we're gonna get back down to the nitty-gritty basics of where it used to be, you know, small little villages being absolutely on their own, swinging, just focus on their own community. Hey, our community does nothing else but fish. Oh, our community does nothing else but cook fucking chickens. I don't know, but it could be to where in small democratic communities, everybody's invested locally, because that's how I feel the world should be now, even, right? Most people are not aware of what's going on locally. They're not aware of their local politicians. They're not aware of their local city laws. But if we focus on our local politicians, our local city laws, and our local just investment goes up, bro, you will live a fucking wonderful life. If not, go to your big city. Like, for example, for me, I would go to Dallas, right? Like, I would go downtown Dallas. I will let them know what's good, give them peace of my mind. Maybe I start doing Dallas pranks, right? Like downtown city government pranks. Like, there's a few politicians that, you know, watch those. There's a few politicians that watch some of those meetings where like people are going and expressing their, you know, opinion about something, right? Like, it's good to be invested locally, right? Because once you start looking at primaries for Republican or Democratic politicians, you're like, bro, that's so far away. I don't give a fuck. But if you have a local elected senator, congressperson, or whatever it is, they're locally invested in your school district, invested in whatever they are locally, they will be having a bigger impact on you than your fucking Texas governor. You know, your Texas governor gives no fucks about you. That boy gives no fucks about nothing, right? That motherfucker is in Austin, sitting up there, big balling, you know, not giving no fucks. Whereas your local representative with your local fucking school district, you know, where your kids go, can make a bigger difference. Because, hey, imagine they're like, bro, you have to come, you know, pick up your kid at 12:45. No later, no earlier. But you're like, bro, fuck that. I can only get there at 1:30. And they're like, okay, we're going to start a new program where the kids can stay till 1:30 because you invested your time in your local government or your local fucking politician, whatever it is. Like, you never know. Jimmy from around the block might be interested in getting locally elected because he's so invested in the community and so invested in how HOA fucking sucks dick. And you're like, bro, fuck it. I'm with them. Fuck HOA, you know? but nobody gets him elected because he doesn't go door to door knocking and letting people know, hey, vote for me. Because it's truly important that our local community gets together and enjoys, what it is. Because all these bots are really getting to a place where our internet is not our internet anymore, right? Like, if they have an elected official and they know a technological company that can get their bots promoting their fucking website, their voter registration up, they might be able to get into a political position that your local booble madoo cannot get to, In conclusion, as ChatGPT or any fucking college project that I've recently done, it's finals fucking season, right? In conclusion, overall, I think we should all invest our time and absolute energy into local politics. Invest it into just getting your community to where you want it to be. If you have a house, if you have an apartment, invest in your community. That's the biggest issue, right? It's like it used to be everybody would be able to get a house. Everybody would have at least that goal, or they will live with their family. Now it's probably best, hey, if you're 18, get the fuck out the house. Like it's becoming a system where they do not want a strong family unit, and who they is, I don't know yet. You just point in that direction and you just say they is who is not on your boat, right? Like let's get into the true delusion. They is whoever does not want you to be your truest self and your 100% authentic self, right? They can be whoever the fuck they want, right? Like they can be Jews, Christians, Muslims, whatever, right? Like whatever your absolute brain of racism takes you, right? If they is religious, if they is brown, if they is colored, whatever they want to be, what you want, right? You want your America to be a certain way, then vote and make it a certain way, right? That's the true accessibility of democracy, right? It's like you let your racism be free, but the problem is the only ones racist right now are the folks that have been here a while and are able to invest that way, right? So brown folks, get your textbook ready and get to being racist truly, right? Like I genuinely feel like it's crazy that people think, oh, my eyes don't see color, so theirs can't either. No, motherfucker. There's still people out here that believe that the darker your skin is, the worse you are, and you shouldn't be in their presence. And there's motherfuckers in the South, in the North, in the West, and the East that believe that. No matter where you go, there will be people of that fucking belief. So let's move accordingly and not be fucking absolutely delusionally, belligerently stupid. How about we lock in and just be like, fuck it, that is racism, but let's get past it. Let's get better. Let's become a unity and let's become a United States of America, right? Fuck them Europe countries, right? Because them motherfuckers don't know what's good. They came to the United States of America for FIFA World Cup. They said, hey, yo, we love this shit. So there is something to America that everybody loves. So we get back down to the roots of it. We love our country and we give it the love it deserves. Not the whole, oh, fuck this, fuck that, they're racist. Fuck it, we love racism in this country. Like, can we not forget that racism comes with a level of love for America? Like, obviously, like, we don't want to be racist completely, but some part of racism comes well. Obviously, if they're fucking hating on you and trying to fucking kill you, that's not a good part of racism. But the good part of racism is like the jokes, the level of, oh, you guys do this, oh, you guys are late, like, whatever the fuck it is. I truly think there's some good parts to everything. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? As they say, as some may say. So I truly think people need to invest more time in thinking a little bit deeply, first of all. And then second of all, read the fine print. Or say, fuck it, we're eating plastic and getting back to the Stone Age. I don't know. Have a good night.